name's Fluffy the Destroyer, and welcome to my channel. Looks like the internet is free once again. Yeah, I've got a couple of articles here. Well, net neutrality won. So, because of who? That's us. People voted. I think the FCC received over 4 million comments on the subject. Yeah, but of course Google, Facebook, and all those megacorps really helped us. Especially because of their lobbies. Here's the thing, I don't feel comfortable with that, though. People like Google, although it's really nice that they help and they have a voice, but the thing is that these guys, like Google and Facebook and all of those are really big guys. Like, they really mean a lot in this economic future, in this economic nation that we have. They do mean a lot. Like, this is a worldwide type of company here, and when they say something, it means something. So, did our voice, like the 4 million people that spoke, really meant something? Or is it really the lobby that did something, and in the end, our 4 million voices just meant nothing? It was like a speck of dust, for example. That's when I'm a bit I'm not comfortable with them when they speak. It's a fight for the people, and it should remain for the people. But hey, we won. It stays there. I don't think it's going to be over, though. I'm really sure that those ISPs will just come back at us and, well, at the FCC, and just do something like against it, because they really don't like it. I mean, but what does it mean to you, like, for the guy or the girl that, like, works 8 hours, 10, 12 hours a day, or maybe not, I'm not sure. Almost nothing. We didn't win anything, but we didn't lose anything either. So let me explain. We didn't win anything because net neutrality usually means that the ISPs was just paying you way too much. Well, they're paying us way too much as it is right now, but for almost nothing. Like, really, I'm being charged, what, $50, $60 for 15 megabytes? Megabits, sorry. Yeah, look around the world. Trust me, we are charged way too high for nothing here. Like, I think it's in China or Japan. I think they're charged approximately the same the same amount of money for like 100 megs or something. I'm not really sure anymore. A couple of years ago, I think it was in Russia or Italy or something. It was 3 megs, not much, but for $1. Yeah, so you go in the U.S. or Canada, and trust me, it's really not good, really not good at all. And sometimes they're going to charge you like an extra $10. But the net neutrality means that. What it means right now is that for the $10 extra, that's not going to happen. Like, for example, can you just imagine if net neutrality didn't win? It would lose. Like, for example, your ISP would say, 80% of our customers are downloading through YouTube. Let's charge them $10. 70% of our customers are going through Facebook. Let's charge them $15. Just go ahead. They could have done that. They could, really. They could go with, like, the businesses, for example. Well, you're downloading a lot through XYZ type of IP address, which are outside the US. Let's charge them $5 extra per gigabyte. The possibilities are just endless for those companies. I hate that. They already do throttling, and they did this, like, this shitty thing with Netflix. Like, just lower their, not the peer-to-peer, but the protocol, or just like the website, no, not the website, the traffic going to Netflix was lowered. I really hate that. They're not supposed to do that, but they did. But now, because of this, they can't do it anymore. Which means no more blocking, no more throttling, and no more paid prioritization fast lane. It's not going to happen. Oh no. And we didn't lose, because the internet just remains the way it is today. very high for nothing, and, well, the thing is, it's not going to be higher. The plans that you got at your ISP, which, personally, I think it's really a piece of shit, it's, like, for example, I'm going to show you mine here, in Canada. Like, in Canada, we were renowned to be, if not the #1, internet service provider, like speed via versus cash here. But nowadays, I'm ashamed because it went to shit. It really went to shit. Like, in their website, they talk about fiber optic, which is like the thing of the future, but no, it's not. So, let's see. Residential internet here. What do we have? Internet fiber hybrid 30 53.95. US Canadian, it's basically almost the same here. There's not a really big difference. Let's see here. So oh man, like this is the lowest, $36, 5 megabytes. 1 megabyte up, the 5 was down as well, and there's 10 gigs of transfer. 10 gigs. In other words, if you want to compare it to downloading movies, like an hour and a half, 9, 10, 15 movies or something, really not much. And if you go on YouTube a lot and you got like 2 or 3 kids, fuck that. You're going to go over that. And what's the highest? Fiber 200, $131, 200 megabits down, 30 megabits up. And there's still data cap on that thing. 500 gigs. Yeah, I don't know, man. I just paid the $10 extra just to get unlimited data cap, which means I can download the whole internet in 24 hours. Yay for porn. No, really, it's way too high. And you go to other countries like Italy or, I don't know, China or whatever, Japan, Russia, whatever, and they have better data service. A whole lot better service there. So, ISPs are also going to be labeled as common carriers, and they'll remain the way it is today. So it's kind of free, well, kind of, because you still have to pay for the internet, but you're not supposed to be charged more for going into this specific website. So if you want to go on YouTube or Netflix, you're not supposed to be charged more. With Netflix, I'm not really sure, but I think it's going to take some time. Well, anyways. And the ISPs, like, they're not supposed to charge you. That's the bottom point. Also, ISPs are also labeled as, well, not only as common carriers, but the regulations classifies the internet under Title II of the Communication Act, bringing it more in line with like traditional utilities like power and water. Yeah, we're up to that point. Did you ever went to, I don't know, like a restaurant, for example, and the power cut, and the restaurant is still able to operate, but for some reason the internet or the computers doesn't work? Just look at the waiters. It's really funny and really freaky at the same time. Look at cashiers in convenience stores. They are completely mind-boggled. They always have this little calculator. They can't do it manually. This is where we are. We rely way too much on internet and computers today. It's really funny because you always see them like punching numbers and everything. It's really freaky as well because they really don't know how to count. No, really, it's some like restaurants, they just close because they don't have internet. That's where they are. I remember a long time ago when my mother worked as a waitress. First of all, there weren't any computers, and even if there were, it was so rudimentary that she didn't use them. Well, there was at one point there wasn't any computers. It was just like this little cashier, this cash register, and that's it. Everything she did with numbers was in her head. She didn't need anything. God damn it, the cooks and like in the back, they all had their well, not their bills, but whatever the like the waiters wrote, it was on paper. Like they did like everything manually. Do that today in 2015. I swear to God, it won't work. If it does, I don't know, man. They got a system that works perfectly and they're really awesome, and they got a backup system like Plan B, for example, if the computers don't work. But most of the time, it doesn't. Like, everyone needs internet. That's probably why it's classified under Title II. But like I said before, the policy is supposed to block banning, throttling, and paid prioritization, which is supposed to happen in Canada right now, and I don't think that's fixed. I'm not really sure. I don't have any problem with throttling, but I've heard horror stories a long time ago. But to be honest, when I need to go on torrents, I'm not throttled, but I've seen people from Videotron or Bell that are. It's been a long time ago, but I'm not sure. But what's happening in Canada regarding the net neutrality? This is really... It's happening here. Like the CRTC, which is the equivalent of the FCC in the US, they are shutting down like the unlawful Bell Videotron practices. Bell and Videotron are the equivalent of Comcast and, I don't know, Warner Brothers, whatever. The big guys, the ones that offers the ISP, the internet service providers. Like, that would be Comcast, and I believe there's AT&T as well. Sorry, I don't live in the US, so I know that Comcast is one. A lot of people hate them as well. Same thing for us with Bell and Videotron. Bell uses DSL lines, while Videotron uses cable, I would say technology, but in the end, they use the same kind of infrastructure. So Videotron is under Bell's, I would say, physical lines. And they were doing a practice, like, for example, with Bell, it was bellmedia.tv, Bell Mobile TV. It's a service that if you got their service, you would usually pay $5 a month, and there's like a 5 gigabytes of data thrown into the package. But it didn't count as data charges, so it was free. And same thing with Videotron. If you would access their illico.tv service, like the data cap would be free. But if you would go anywhere else, like Netflix, for example, or YouTube or whatever, the data would get charged. That's the kind of net neutrality that Bell and Videotron gives the message to everyone. You know what? Net neutrality? Fuck you. We want people. That's the kind of practice that CRTC shut down. I really love it because it sends a message to Bell and Videotron. You might be big, but you're weak. And you're not impossible to get down and shut down. So we're going to remind you that. I really like that. A lot of practices they've done throughout the years, Bell and Videotron, like any other company, for example, like Comcast. I know they did throttling. They did that too. For example, I remember that they did throttling with the peer-to-peer protocol, BitTorrent, for example. I think with Bell, there's one company which... TechSavvy, that's the one. They were really loud against Bell, and what they did was, TechSavvy is a subcontractor of Bell, which means TechSavvy, like not all of them, but other companies like that would be Uniserve, B2, B2C. There's also 3Web as well, if they're still up today. What they do is they charge less, but the support is where the shit hits the fan. It's cheaper to get internet service for them, but if you need support because of whatever reason, like your internet doesn't work, make sure you know someone that knows a lot about computers, or, well, I would say in this case, networks. If not, you gotta call them. If it's with Bell, here's the thing. You need help. You call Bell, and after an hour of waiting, and after talking to that frickin' idiot representative from Bell who just flips the pages from his instruction booklet, he tells you, well, listen, I can't help you anymore. I've done all the troubleshooting I've done. Like, sometimes they take like an hour or so. Please unplug the router, or whatever router, just plug the modem directly to the line. Make sure you don't use any antiviruses and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. And if they can't help you, they're going to transfer you to a tech. to a Bell technician, he'll be able to help you. They'll monitor the line directly to tell you, well, okay, I detect 4 megabytes out of 10. There seems to be a problem. I can fix it. Boom, fixed. If not, they're going to send someone. You can pick the hours, and you can pick anything. Well, I want someone from 10 to 5. They usually have some kind of block of hours schedule type of service. But if you have a subcontractor type of internet service provider like TechSavvy, Uniserv, or anything that's cheaper than Bell, there's another one, Distributel, I think. This means that you're going to talk to probably a same type of representative, someone who has knowledge in networks and computers and will help you. But if after a couple of minutes or an hour, if he can't help you, he's going to tell you this: we're going to send your problem to Bell technicians. They're supposed to say that you don't know it's a Bell technician. And when you do that, they're supposed to call you back between 24 and 48 hours after I send a ticket. Oh, and also, if you do need a technician in your home, just be sure it costs nothing, because it can cost you something on top of that, because with Bell it doesn't cost you anything, depending on the service. And at the same time, it's between 8 and 5. You don't have a saying in that. It's non-negotiable. That's the kind of bullshit Bell does to everyone except Bell. So yeah, there's a lot of work that the CRTC needs to do in here, in Canada, but it's really awful. My point is, I hate Bell. I hate Videotron. I'm stuck with them. Everyone's stuck with them. Same thing with Comcast. They have a lot of power, and thankfully, it sounds like in the last couple of years, the CRTC and the FCC is just giving him like a slap behind the head, just to remind them, hey, don't go far with that. You're getting out of line here. I really love it. So, my name's Lefty the Destroyer, and see you next time.